Welcome to another great episode of Final Shot. I'm your host, David Johnson, alongside of my guest, Trisity Miller, Tim Polite.
How you doing, bro?
Doing well. How you doing, brother?
That's good, man. That's good.
Today we have an action-packed show, as I said once before. We talk strictly, pretty much predominantly NBA. We first start off with Spurs and the Mavericks. From a 1 to 10, we saw, Dallas won last night by about 30 points, if not more. How much focus should Dallas put on? Should they be concerned, or the Spurs should be more concerned about finishing this series out?
I don't know. I thought it was going to be a sweep because they've beaten Dallas all season.
You thought the Spurs are going to sweep Dallas?
Yes, because the Mavericks, they don't have any defense on the perimeter,
no,
and they're bigs. We relied on Samuel Dallenberg. It's only so much you can do, but I mean, they've been the better team for the first 2 games of the series. So it's on Greg Popovich to see if he can get his guys going. If not, it'll be a quick exit.
Just like 2011, but I feel like the Spurs should be worried because I feel like Dallas could have won game 1, but it just got sloppy at the end. And
that's Dallas's game. They collapsed all season.
Yeah,
so
that 15-0 run, it was horrible. They were just real sloppy. And then they won game 2. So if they get their offense together and it's getting flowing real smooth, I feel like Dallas can win this series and pull an upset on the Spurs.
That's possible. Dirk hasn't played well all the whole series.
He's Dirk.
Right.
And he's Dirk Nowitzki. He beat my Miami Heat.
But the thing about that is, we know the Spurs, their motto of consistency. 24 turnovers last night, 15 in the first half. Is this a product of Dallas defense, or is this maybe just sloppy play?
Sloppy play.
Sloppy play?
There is no defense.
Well, you got, Hall of Fame players.
Well,
Sean
Marion did a good job.
Right, and
he set the tone.
Exactly. Pop yelled at him after the game. It's over.
They found the fountain of youth last night. We now move on to the Blazers, Houston series. LaMarcus Aldridge, second game in a row, he scored 40-plus game. Third player to do that since Tracy McGrady, MJ's great company, as we alluded to before.
Absolutely.
Who are the deciding factors in this, as we see James Harden is pretty much done a disappearing act?
It's going to have to be Dwight Howard. He came to Houston to win the championship. This is his time to be the man and dominate this series. He has to fight Aldridge. He has to, whatever he does, he has to match it. It's going to have to be Dwight Howard in the supporting cast because James Harden is disappearing.
You got to start watching Inside the NBA. You sound like Shaq. But I feel like it's on the coaching. I thought the coaching was spotty throughout the season, so now in the playoff it's amplified more. Obviously, James Harden got to step up because he can't keep playing like this. But I feel like if you think about it, James Harden hasn't played well. The surrounding cast hasn't played well, and they've been in every game. So I feel like if it's a bit of a swing, LaMarcus has to regress to the norm. James Harden has to regress to the norm, so it'll be some balance. But they got to win 2 in Portland. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel Houston will steal one of these games, but I feel like this series is done. They lost home court.
If they still won,
it's going to be over in 5, maybe.
5 games. And the wave that's been going on is now LaMarcus Aldridge has put himself up to prominence. He's now a premier power forward over Kevin Love, which Kevin Love has averaged 24, 12, 4. Do we agree with this? Do they need to pipe it down a little bit, or is Kevin Love still the best? So who's the best power forward in your opinion?
I feel like Kevin Love is still one of the best power forwards. The only problem is that he hasn't been in the playoffs yet, so we can't have a compare and contrast because you got regular season stats versus playoff stats. That's not fair.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to get Kevin Love in the postseason first. Once he leaves Minnesota, then we can have that conversation. But
as if he's going to leave Minnesota.
He's leaving Minnesota. It's over with. He's not staying there.
I'm a fan. I like LaMarcus Aldridge's game. I think he relies too much on the mid-range shot. But when he's going in and you keep making them,
you average 44.5.
You're gonna average 44. But I don't have him as a top power forward. I think he's number 4 after Davis, Blake, and Love. But I mean, being number 4, that's a heck of a spot to be, looking at who's ahead of you and who's behind you. So I mean, I feel like it's too much of a rush to anoint players after 2 games. If he plays bad from here on out, do we just say he's off, or do we just say, he's terrible now? That's why I don't do the anointing after 2 good games.
Well, I would like to see what goes on next series once they make it out, because they're going to win this series hands down. I want to see what he does in that series and what Damian Lillard will do. So.
Okay, great discussion. I agree, wholeheartedly with both of you. Okay, now we go eastward to South Beach. We talk Miami, 2-time defending champions. They're up 2-0. Last night was a struggle. Pretty physical game with the elbow, Josh McRoberts to LeBron James. He gets the star treatment. Is this deservingly so, and do you see a sweep?
Absolutely, I see a sweep. But it's a possibility Charlotte may steal one, but there's no way they're going to win the series. What Charlotte is doing is just getting another feel for the postseason. This is Here's they're going to be in the postseason next year. This is just them getting back right. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be the Hornets next year. This is good for the Charlotte franchise to be back in the postseason. And then going against the Miami Heat, you know, it just make them even better. So, yeah, it's going to be a sweep. They may steal one in Charlotte, but no more than 5. No more than 5 games.
I agree, but I can honestly say that this has been more entertaining than the last 2 Heat first round. The Knicks, they were
horrible.
And the Bucks in 6, but we saw how that turned out.
Right.
You got to enjoy watching the Bobcats because they play hard. You got great
Kemba
coaching.
Walker.
Exactly.
You got
3 hit in the clutch.
And I guess another question I would ask is, if Al Jefferson wasn't injured, do we see a much better series?
Absolutely, absolutely. Al Jefferson is definitely by far one of the most unguardable big men in the NBA because he's smooth. That post game is unstoppable. He can score on anybody he wants.
Right.
So if Al Jefferson was healthy at 100%, this game would probably go to 6. The series would go to 6, definitely.
I thought it was going to be a sweep regardless. I feel like outside of Al Jefferson, you're surrounding him with players who don't really fit. Kid Gilchrist doesn't spread the floor. Gerald Henderson's iffy, and it's just not enough. Jefferson could score 40 a game, but are the rest of the players going to come up? And I thought they wouldn't be able to for the remainder of the series.
Right.
Here we are.
Great segment, guys. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more NBA. Welcome back to Final Shot. We now talk the most compelling and exciting series, in my opinion. We talk Chocolate City, we talk Chi-Town, we talk Washington Wizards, we talk Chicago Bulls. I said Chocolate City. I said Chocolate City.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next question, Doc. Go ahead, bro.
This series is now 2-0. The young guns, John Wall, Bradley Beal, against the experienced veterans, the Derrick Roseless Bulls. Do we see a clean sweep here?
Absolutely.
No.
The Washington Wizards are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Go ahead, Trisity.
That just caught me off guard.
You ready?
I feel like they've been in every game, just like some other series. They've been in every game. It's been close. So I feel like they can still win. It just things are gonna fall in their favor. John Wall's shot's not gonna fall. Beal's gonna have a bad game. Win the game.
The reason I feel like they're gonna lose the series is because at the end of the day, the Chicago Bulls cannot score. Their primary scorer the other day was DJ Augustine. They take turns with a primary scorer. That's not going to win you a playoff series, and it's definitely not going to help you advance in the playoffs. So
he said, "Is it going to be a sweep?" Which means, can the Bulls win another game? And I think they can.
Nah. Wizards got this.
The Wizards got it. Okay. So
Wizards in 4.
Wizards
See
in 4.
what's South
Clean
Beach.
sweep, as I said before. So if this is clean sweep, should the Bulls focus on going fishing, worrying about reeling in Carmelo Anthony, re-up and revamp with Derrick Rose and try it again next year? Would that be the goal?
That's the ideal goal, but I feel like there's a better way they can do it without sacrificing everything for Carmelo. Because you probably have to give up their overseas draft pick and Marotic. They probably have to give up Taj Gibson and picks. And I feel like if you can get Derrick Rose back, which is a big if, and find another mid-level scorer, because if Rose can be 75% of his old self, that's the perimeter scoring right there. You need one more guy, kind of like Luau, better shooter. And you got Jimmy Butler, he's getting better, and I feel like they can do that.
I feel like they're stuck right now. Like they make it to the playoffs every year, but they're not going anywhere. They play good defense, and that's how they get in the playoffs. But once they get in, they're just there, and they end up getting knocked out.
Well, they haven't had Derrick Rose for the last 3 years, so that kind of skews everything.
It does, but.
And you talk giving up Taj Gibson. If I'm the Bulls, I don't want to give up Taj Gibson.
Absolutely.
But he's kind of old, though. I can see the positives and negatives because he's 28. And then
he's 28?
Yeah, he's old. He's Carmelo Anthony, but I'm with you. I would keep Taj.
Yeah, I think he did 5 years at USC, medical red shirt. So I believe he did do 5 years at. And he came in bald. How many players come in?
No, he had hair when he came in because he still has hair in 2K. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what. Update the game, 2K. Taj Gibson's bald. But
now we switch over to OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder, the Memphis Grizzlies. That's been a great series. Not the best series in my opinion, but a great series. Is Tony Allen the Durant stopper?
Yes. I've been saying this for the last 3 years. He's 6'4". And he shows that height matters little when it comes to defense. It's more about the technique than the actual height because he's giving up almost 10 inches to Durant. But he fights him off the spots. He doesn't allow him to touch the ball. He gets in his grill. So.
And basically, KD is not looking to fight through contact. He's looking for a foul call whenever he touches the ball and Tony Allen is on him. And he has to understand this is playoff basketball. So you're not going to get some of these calls that you'll get in the regular season. You got to play on.
The most compelling thing I think I saw about the series is Zach Randolph, we know, plays low to the ground. Very effective, but plays low to the ground. He's going against the power forward, Serge Ibaka, who plays above the rim. We have Marc Gasol, obvious girth. Kendrick Perkins, obvious girth. Those two, I think, will pretty much take each other out of the game, those two matchups. If Memphis is to win this series, who wins it for them?
The bench.
The bench? Not Conley, but the bench. A collective effort.
Well, the bench and Courtney Lee. He's dealt with some aggression issues. I feel like Conley's he's going to happen. And those are people that you feel like when you enter a series, I know he's going to happen, he's going to happen, he's going to happen. Courtney Lee, Mike Miller, Bino Udrih with Nick Khaleesi suspended, Ed Davis. I feel like if those guys can outplay OKC's bench and give the starting unit a boost, we got a series.
Absolutely. I think it's a possible upset if what Trisity said.
Is it really an upset? Because the Grizzlies aren't a seventh seed.
They're not bad. They're actually a very good team, but it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got that reputation. If you take them out, that is an upset. So, if the bench can play and they can outplay Oklahoma City's Thunder's bench and put everything on the starters and get them tired, they can definitely win in, I say, 6 games. You know what I mean? Before it even gets back to Oklahoma. So.
The waves have been going crazy. We stay in OKC. We talk Goran Dragic, the guard for Phoenix Suns. He's been asked who's the hardest matchup to face. He said Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook can be a little erratic at times. Do we see Russell Westbrook making the OKC Thunder downfall, or should Durant take over? Should he be more assertive?
It's kind of a mix of both. I mean, Durant it's his team. He has to be the man. He has to be able to demand the ball. But you're not making it to the finals without Russell Westbrook. He is the reason you're open for threes. You know what I mean? He attacks him. He's like a mini LeBron. I mean, he can't be stopped. So without Russell Westbrook, their title hopes are down the drain. They were down the drain when James Harden is gone. They're definitely gone when Russell Westbrook isn't himself and attacking the paint.
I know a lot of people have an issue with Russell Westbrook and the amount of shots he takes, but when you look at the Thunder, outside of Durant and Westbrook, who else can create a shot by themselves? Nobody. So he has to take the shots. The problem is when and what shots he's taking. You can't just pull up with 18 left on the clock. You got to be, that's where the IQ comes in. He struggles with that, but I don't have a problem with Westbrook taking those shots.
I don't either.
And a lot of teams don't have the luxury of having 2 players who are pretty much unguardable. I don't think any guard in the NBA would want to or can keep Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant in front of them. So I think if OKC, you roll with the punches, you take it in consideration, you move with it. You will keep these guys together. You already let Harden go, so you want to keep these guys together.
I agree.
Absolutely. We come back, pay some bills, quick commercial break. We come back, we talk more NBA. Welcome back to Final Shot. We're back now. We're talking more NBA. We start off with the Brooklyn versus Raptors, who Brooklyn clearly tanked to get that seed that they got. What do we see here? Do we see youth prevailing? Do we see longevity and veterans prevailing here?
I really don't care.
Why is it?
I mean,
you gotta open your eyes, man. Toronto, that's a good team.
It is Toronto. I'll take Toronto because it'll be an easier run for Miami to get to the finals again.
I disagree, actually. I think Toronto will give the Heat way more problems. But that's beside the point here. I'm enjoying the series. I think it's a good matchup.
I didn't see any games, you know.
You sleep. I think it's a good matchup between young and old, and it kind of defeats that point of experience always wins out. The Nets can't match up with their talent. Their talent, their athleticism, I think the Raptors are just clearly a better team. KG's only out here playing 20 minutes a game. There's only so much you can do with that. Miles Plumlee, he's good, but he's not ready.
They need Brook Lopez.
He's okay.
Now, if they had Brook Lopez, I'd have Brooklyn winning the series hands down.
It wouldn't be in
the series.
You alluded to the Raptors playing Miami would be a much better series. Why is that? Why do you feel that way?
Athleticism.
Jonas Valanciunas under the basket. You got to deal with
Kyle
Lowry for 6-7 games instead of Ron Williams.
It'll be like the Heat versus the Clippers, except East Side Edition. You feel me?
No, the Raptors aren't the Clippers.
I'm just talking about.
They don't have Chris Paul. They don't have Blake Griffin.
I'm just talking about the dunks, the high-flying dunks, the athleticism, making the whole sports in the top 10 again. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It'll be a good series. It'll get good marketing, good views.
Right.
It'll be an easier trip to the finals.
Do we want the easier trip, or do we want to see what we're really made of?
We already know what we're made of. We
I
won
wanna
2
see what the
rings.
Heat are made of.
I just want to see your answer. Just want to see your reply.
champions.
Okay.
I already know
Okay.
what the South Beach Kings are made of.
This next topic seems to be the best topic every time we talk basketball. We talk Hawks, we talk Patriots, we talk Lance Stevenson, we talk Evan Turner fights. This seems to be the recipe of failure and losing of a team. Do we see it this way, or do we see somebody have a comeback story?
No. The people throw this under the bus, but the Indiana Pacers made the same mistake that the New York Knicks did last year. They got a body blow by the Heat. In the offseason, they went and made some key acquisitions. They were like, if we had the 1 seed, home court, we would have won. So they made the key acquisition. They ran out the first game of the season, guns blazing. And then Miami just coasting. And then, you know, as time progressed, I was going to say, people started winning. They regressed. Right. And they almost lost the 1 seed because of that. I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but go ahead, Tristan.
I don't think it's a failure. I think there's still some hope left. I feel like they got to start running the offense through Ray Hibbert. It's clearly that's not working. I feel like they need to get David West. I always felt like David West was the key to that offense. I feel like when they needed somebody to go to, David West was always there. He's the most consistent player on the team. I disagree now because he's not the same player anymore, and I think that's a problem.
But that mid-ranger is always going. He's not
hitting the shot no more, and if he's not hitting the shot, then how can you be the most consistent player on the team?
Well, no one's hitting a shot, but out of all of them, he's hitting it the most.
But I think that if you can get him and George Hill and Paul George going, get that 3 going, and let Hibbert be the 4th or 5th option like he should be.
He's the garbage man.
Where he can focus solely on defense and protecting the rim and rebounding, and I think they can get it together. The Hawks, I feel like that's a team where when you beat them, you're like, okay, we can do something. And you move off that. You keep growing off that.
The thing I like about this whole series is this seems to be the coming out party for those who didn't know exactly who this Wake Forest recruit was of Jeff Teague, right?
North Carolina.
Right, North Carolina native, of course. Or
Indiana native,
I believe. Okay, Roy Hibbert seems to not fit the mold of being able to be a versatile player. How big he is compared to the small lineup of the Atlanta Hawks. Should Frank Vogel sit him down, or should we continue to play him?
You can't sit him because he's already seems mentally unstable, and I feel like if you sit him, it breaks him. And with players like that, you have to be careful with them, and so you kind of got to pander them like children and keep him going.
Roy Hibbert is a big baby.
I mean, yeah,
big baby Hibbs.
Okay.
But you gotta keep him in the game just to get his confidence going. If he feels good for the next 5 games, that's good for the Pacers going forward.
I feel like they should bench him because Pero Antic is a 6'11", 7-foot guy shooting 3. So when you have Roy Hibbert outside the paint, you can give it to your quicker Jeff Teague or your Paul Millsap, and they can attack the paint and get easy buckets. And that's what's causing the Pacers these games.
Okay, so I'll ask you this. When Dwayne Wade was struggling guarding Danny Granger and he wasn't doing anything on offense and he was getting lit up on defense,
I don't care.
Should you bench Dwayne Wade?
He's Dwayne Wade.
So?
Roy Hibbert has no reputation. So
that's the problem.
Who cares about Roy Hibbert?
I'm just saying, don't bench him.
He's Dwayne Wade. You don't ever, so disrespectful.
Another deciding factor in this whole series in the Indiana Pacers organization is the job security of Frank Vogel. How do we feel? Should he lose his job? If they lose this series here, should he lose his job?
I thought it was weird how a story came out about he's fighting for his job. Like, isn't that every coach? Isn't your job to fight for your job?
This is a business, correct?
It is a business, but just last year they were praising him, Coach of the Year, and it's kind of what they did with Mike Woodson. They're the new Knicks, really. They were praising him while they were winning, and as soon as they started losing, fire the coach. Did the same thing with the Miami Heat when we weren't meshing together with the big 3. They were talking about fire Eric Spoelstra, bring Pat Riley back. Just let him do his work. Let him do his job. You know what I mean?
Going to the offseason, make some improvements to have a better fit, and then you go from there. If he's not the guy, fire him.
Fire him? Well, how long has he been the coach of the Indiana Pacers with?
Like 3 years.
3-4 years?
And he's done a good each year.
He's done a great job. The records have increased every year.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll go on to ask you a question somewhat like what Pat Riley would do, Phil Jackson would do. Do we see Larry Bird coming down to maybe coach the team, or do we think he'll stay upstairs?
I think he should stay. For the sake of his reputation, he should stay up there.
He's doing better than Jordan right now as a front office gig. So.
I'm not sure if you could do worse, but
can we really, if you look at it, Larry Bird hasn't done too well. Andrew Bynum, Evan Turner.
I like Evan Turner. I give you Andrew Bynum, but I like Evan Turner.
I thought he kind of killed the chemistry. He's another guy that needs the ball, and you don't need that with that club.
He's supposed to play off the ball.
Right. Another great segment. We come back, we talk more NBA, perfectly Chicago Wizards series. Welcome back to Final Shot. We now zoom over to the West. We talk Clippers, we talk Warriors in the Bay Area. Warriors lost last game after winning the first game in Los Angeles by 40. Is this a recipe of disaster, or do we see a comeback, or do we see anything that's promising for the Warriors?
And they'll bounce back. I'm not worried about it. I mean, when it's a three-point shot, it's away. It just wasn't falling that game. And as you saw, Stephen Curry can attack. He didn't go out like no punk. He went out swinging. So they need to get back home, get back in front of their home crowd. They'll bounce back. They're gonna get these wins.
I thought it was going to be a 5-game series, so I guess I go disaster. They don't have enough. They can't defend. And in the one game they did win, Blake Griffin only played 19 minutes. So there was a reason that happened. Then when you got Hito Turkoglu and Danny Granger outscoring your bench,
it's not a good look.
No. And I feel like the Warriors don't know how to use Andre Iguodala. He could be averaging 17 and 6 easy, but I feel like the Warriors and Mark Jackson, they don't know how to use him to his potential yet.
How would you use him?
Like, I would have him as the primary scorer and just dish him out.
Sounds like a first-round exit to me.
Nah, not at all.
Andre Iguodala has never been a primary scorer. We saw what happened with those Sixers.
True. Whatever. But
and out of the series, is this more of a coaching problem or a player problem? Lack of players.
Personnel.
Player personnel.
Andrew Bogut, he's better offensively because he does the little things. He rebounds, blocks shots.
They need Bogut in this series.
I agree.
Well, they need him to make it in the postseason. They need to journey far in the postseason. Without him, if by God's grace they make it out this round, they will not make it out of the second round without Bogut.
It's kind of been some luck for Mark Jackson because there's no pressure on him because nobody thinks he can win without Bogut. So now it will relieve some pressure. Maybe he comes back next year for his last year of his contract. So it's kind of a good thing for them.
Yeah.
Last year it was the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry. This year it's the Wiz Kids, John Wall, Bradley Beal. If you were a general manager or owner of an organization in the NBA, who would you have on your floor, your shooting guard, your point guard, over the next 5 years?
Go, Tris.
The bias in me says go with Steph Curry, but I don't know. Can I say a tie? Can we get one of each?
You can't say a tie.
All right, I'll go. Now, my director over there, Femi, he can tell you I love Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, but I have to go with John Wall and Bradley Beal because you got a deadly 1-2 punch. You got John Wall who's quick, he can attack the paint at will, and then you have your Bradley Beal who can knock down the three from anywhere. And he can put the ball on the floor and create his own offense. Versus when you got over there at Golden State, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, their primary threat is the three. They're kind of trying to get to attacking the paint more, but if you take away that 3-point shot, it's not happening. Versus John Wall and Bradley Beal.
I'm gonna go with Wall and Beal, but I think it's like this. Because I'm a big fan of Klay Thompson. He's an underrated defender.
Absolutely.
And he has a nice little post-up game. He knows how to use the defender side.
His daddy taught him, Michael Thompson.
He's deadly from behind the arc, as I don't think anyone would disagree with. Another thing I've been thinking of, we have Nene in Washington. We have Marcin Gortat in Washington. This may be the best power forward center combination in the NBA. Do we agree?
No.
We do not? Top three?
Oh, I got it down. Well, you got Gasol Randolph.
Yeah, Gasol Randolph.
Noah Gibson. Because Carlos Boozer definitely don't count.
He's inconsistent, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
But it might be.
Bosh and LeBron. Pekovic and Love. I'm just rattling out names. I'm not necessarily saying they're better.
Blake and DJ.
Blake and DJ, he's coming up. Drummond and Monroe. That's something. I feel like I get the case that you're making.
It's underrated.
I get the case that you're making. When Nene's healthy, he's a great
He's
player.
a top center in the league when he's healthy. But that's the thing, when he's healthy.
Yeah, he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, it's up in the air. I think it's an underrated duo.
I definitely agree. So if we had to say how many games this series would last, Warriors, Clippers, how many you go? 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
5?
6.
6? 6 who? Who are we going? 6?
Clippers. I'm going Clippers.
6 Clippers.
I like them both, but I'm going to go Warriors.
There we have it. When we come back, we have a special guest, a special Lakers guest who's been dying to come on the show.
Oh, no.
We see exactly what he's talking about and if it's worth anything.
All right. Good shooting with you.
Welcome back to Final Shot. And as I alluded to on the last break, we have a special guest here on today, Mondo.
I'm back.
Allen, a.k.a. the Zen Master.
A.k.a. Childish Femi.
I'm back.
This is our final segment, the Quick Shock segment. This is pretty much a rapid-fire segment. You give your opinion on the segment of the topics, very, very brief, very concise. We start off with Michael Pineda, the pitcher, upcoming pitcher of the New York Yankees, of course, the Pine Tar King. Does he deserve to be suspended, and if so, how many games?
Yes, and I say give him 10. Start him off light. If he try it again, 25. Or, something like that.
I say they didn't suspend the Patriots when they cheated. So hey, why not? Just let them stay there and let them play.
They did take draft picks from them.
They took draft picks. They can't take draft picks from Pinata. Look, man, give him suspension. That's cool. Give him suspension. Don't give him suspension.
New York Knicks have big problems right now. Carmelo may leave. Mike Wilson's been fired. Was he fired deservingly so, and should Steve Kerr take the job?
Yes and yes. I feel like there's little expectations with Steve Kerr, so he's not a high-profile name, so no one thinks he's going to fling him to a championship.
Would that be a waste of time then?
No, you groom him and grow into the future. Next year is going to be a wasted year anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there was nothing Mike Wilson could have done, but I feel like there was nothing he could have done. I feel like it was the player's fault.
Could have coached the defense better. They doubled too many times. They switched.
I thought you had your turn. Look.
I'm just saying, bro.
Look, I feel like there was nothing he could do, man. Like, by the time the end of the season came, everybody was playing better. J.R. Smith was on fire, but I feel like there was nothing he could do from the time. I feel like he was going to get going anyway. As soon as they hired Phil, it was over for Mike Wilson. You know what I mean? So, hey, he didn't deserve it, but he's going. And next year, like Trisity said, it'll be kind of wasted. The next year will be wasted.
I feel like we have this next conversation, this next topic every year, every off-season, every mid-season, every postseason. Paul Gasol, will he be a Laker next season?
I don't know. I'm gonna just go with no.
I want to say yes because I love Powell to death, but I do not know. He might go to Spurs. That would be good. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he went to Spurs.
I doubt he goes to Spurs.
That'd be nice though.
They don't have, he gonna come off the bench?
I don't care. I just want to see him go one ring.
Or he can go to the Heat. They got cap
all right. So yeah, he needs to stay with the Lakers. All right, he needs to stay with the Lakers.
This next topic I know you will enjoy, so you go ahead and gloat. You go ahead and take this one very serious. 5-time NBA champion Black Mamba Kobe Bryant started a 6-month regimen. Will the Lakers contend next year for an NBA final, which will be his 6th ring?
No.
You said Kobe coming back?
Black Mamba Kobe, yeah. Kobe Bean Bryant.
So what are we asking right here?
Are they gonna contend?
Are they going to contend like they did last year? He got injured last year. What are you talking about?
Or the year before that?
The year before that, they were supposed to be contenders.
What about the year? Did they contend?
The year before that?
Did they contend? That's the question.
When? What are you talking about? You mentioned different years.
2011.
2011 was the year they had the best. They were the best team in the West until the playoffs hit because situation happened with Powell. Locker room issues. But they were supposed to win the championship. That was supposed to be the year LeBron and Kobe was supposed to finally go at it in the finals. 2012, you know what I mean? Hey, can't win. Like I told y'all earlier, we can't win all of the championships. We just win most of them, okay? We just win most of them.
Most of them.
Since all y'all been born, who's won the most championships?
Your mama.
My mama, you right. My mama, and who else?
These.
The next topic, should Josh McRoberts of the Charlotte Bobcats be suspended, be fined? Should he have any? Should he be castigated in any shape or fashion for the elbow on LeBron James?
I thought the only reason I think he should be suspended is because when players, it's kind of what the league has set prior to him. Players get suspended for those type of fouls, and you could tell he wasn't trying to defend his shot. You don't defend a shot like this. You put your hands up. So I mean, only because of the precedent set before. So, yeah.
I feel like if I see LeBron running straight towards me, however fast he runs, 300 miles per hour. the first thing, I'm going to jump up, and I'm going to go for the ball, but if he gets too close and my arm is right here by the time it's going up, hey, I'm setting myself, okay? Now, he got fined $20,000, which is nothing to an NBA player.
He extended the elbow, though. That's the real problem. He extended the elbow.
Because it's like a lion coming at you. What you going to do if a lion come at you? You gonna sit back and chill? You going to try to get off me?
So why doesn't he get punched in the throat every game? Because that happens every game. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm not psychic.
NBA Finals prediction. Who do we have? The East, West, who wins it all?
It feel like the NFL playoffs. It's like I know who's going to be there, but at the same time, I really don't know who's going to be there. So I guess Heat. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Clippers. I don't even know why.
I don't know either. I got OKC. Maybe the Spurs. I feel like that's the only challenge. OKC, the Spurs.
I think the Clippers could be OKC.
Yeah, I mean the Clippers are good, but I just don't think they can contend for a championship right now. I also have the Heat. I think the Pacers are done. They might make it past the Hawks, but it's just the Hawks.
We can make it past.
Shout out to Ryan. It's just the Hawks.
We can make it
past the Hawks.
So who do we have winning it all?
I want to say whoever comes from the West. I feel like they just be. I don't know, man. Because I got
LeBron.
The Heat. You can't ever go wrong with LeBron. Well, now you can't. But I don't know. I guess I'm gonna say OKC, but it's toss up.
Thank you guys for your opinionated answers. This is David Johnson. This is Final Shot. This has been a great episode. I'm your host. Thank you for having me. These are my guests, Trisity Miller, Jamon Mondo Allen.
What's up?
Have Tim Polite. Behind the scenes, you can't see him. Ryan, great job, brother.
Good job, Ryan.
Femi, Oladimeji. Thank you, Savannah State. We'll see you next semester. Thank you.
Hey, we get a draft pick. Once we get a draft pick, we're going to sign somebody real.
LeBron
somebody that never heard. Lakers winning the championship.
Lakers aren't winning.
LeBron coming to the Grizzlies next year.